Hey guys, it's Vlogmas!
Merry Vlogmas.
Very merry, very merry, very merry Vlogmas. Alright guys, we wanted to sit down with you today and go over our favorite Christmas films for the season. I'll let Ellie start because he's actually the movie buff. I don't have that diverse of a range of favorites.
She's got all sorts of favorites. It's just a shorter list with a lot more love. I think I'll start along the lines of things that I like, but it's not my favorite, so we'll save favorites for last. So of lists to come, one of my favorite Christmas movies, but by and far not my favorite Christmas movie, is Home Alone 2. Now, this movie is just basically the exact same movie in a different city, and yet it is just amazing. There are not very many seconds out there, not a lot of sequels that you can really look at and say, oh, that was actually worth seeing, but I think it holds up pretty close to the first one. If I go through Christmas without seeing it, it's not as big of a deal, but I really do enjoy Home Alone 2.
And I like the bird lady in Home Alone 2.
Yes, the bird lady is Home Alone 2.
That is definitely the best aspect of Home Alone 2. And my
least favorite Christmas movie?
My least favorite Christmas movie? I had to write mine down. I don't know what my least favorite Christmas movie is. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know what my least favorite is. All of mine are kind of just, I really can't rank them. So I like all of the Rankin and Bass movies. So that's like all of your old school stop
motion animation.
Thank you. Stop motion animation films like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Jack Frost, Santa Claus Is Coming to Town, The Year Without Santa Claus, Twas the Night Before Christmas. That's a cartoon. But they did that one too. That's with the little mouse family. And they run up the clock and work on the clock. And that's where the song The Night Before Christmas. And all through the house not a creature was stirring. Not even a mouse. But all these mice were stirring. And the one little one was fixing the clock. And anyway, if you haven't seen it, a lot of people say it wasn't their favorite when they were kids. But as adults, they gained a greater appreciation for it. Also, Frosty the Snowman.
Very much so.
And Frosty in the Winter Wonderland. That's an even older version, I think.
So I think the Rankin and Bass animation, I grew up more with the cartoons, so Twas the Night Before Christmas is one that we watched when I was a kid for Christmas, but I could care diddly about, and now as an adult when I see it, I'm like, absolutely, like, throw it on, let's watch it. And Frosty was a huge fan favorite of mine as well when I was a kid.
Only the original Frosties. These things on Netflix now?
They're strange.
It's a sorry excuse for a Christmas film.
Yeah, it's always weird when you have a classic and they want to build on it, but none of the characters sound the same. Like, everyone,
all the people that did the original voices are no longer with us.
But the OG Frosty, by and far, love it.
The best.
Love it. So,
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. I don't know if it's all the Charlie Browns are very something. I think it's a very Charlie Brown Christmas, but I mean, it is the original Charlie Brown. I had when I was single way back in the day and didn't have time or anything for Christmas, I always had my Charlie Brown Christmas tree because you know, as sad as it may be to not have anybody or have anything going on for Christmas, I still had my tiny little Charlie Brown Christmas tree with a little sad jingle bell hanging off of it. It was things from that time in life back when you're a kid. Charlie Brown was another one of those cartoons that just sits right in with all the holidays. It starts off with the Great Pumpkin, and then there's even a Thanksgiving one not as well loved, but then the Charlie Brown Christmas hits, and it's wonderful memories all around, and it's got all sorts of the classic lines. I think Lucy starts with the therapist shed. Not the football. Shed? Yeah, the therapist shed. Oh yeah. You drop a nickel in and she's happier about the sweet sound of money. Like, yeah. Much more in love with that than, and then Schroeder on the pianos in
and
there.
she's like laying on the piano, like.
Yeah, it's got all the good stuff in there. Linus in the Blanket with the speech at the end, that's kind of cool. But the way they all come together and then sing, and then that old school 50s style where they're singing up and you just see a mouth for the entire head. And just,
that is great.
Yeah,
That's
I love
great.
it all.
And Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes.
But
yes.
again, the original, my parents came last year for Christmas and we tried to put it on and accidentally put on the...
It's like 90s version. Yeah, it's like...
Was it a...
Yeah.
I think it was it 90s or 2000s? It was the little girl that was the actress in Matilda.
Yeah.
And she's great. Like all of the actors and actresses, I guess they're all actors, in the film were good, but it just, nah.
Yeah, it wasn't, well, to be fair, I never watched Miracle on 34th Street growing up. So this was something that Sue's actually introduced to me probably 3 or 4 years ago. I think it's real, and it was one of those things where it was Christmas night. We were all just kind of hanging around and she started talking about the movie. I said, I've never seen it. And she was like, one of those things where we had to stop everything and just watch this movie. And I was just all over it. And then last year her parents were here.
There is a Santa Claus.
Last year her parents were here and we watched once. I think we ended up paying on pay-per-view to end up watching it because I just enjoyed it that much. And
but I used to have a copy of it. I need to order a copy this year.
We'll probably have to take care of that. One of those things, you add a new movie every year, and that'll probably be the one this year.
Yeah, we already have a lot of the Rankin and Bass and Charlie Brown, but I definitely need to go through those and see what else we need to add. Do you have anything else to add to the list?
I've got tons of things to add to the list. Are you out already?
No, I've got a couple surprises for the end.
Okay. I do want to have a short honorable mention. I love Die Hard. It's a debate on whether or not that's a Christmas movie because
It's a
happens.
Christmas office party.
Yeah, Christmas office party happens
Everybody
at Christmas
says.
time.
All of my friends say that's a great Christmas movie.
I think that's the movie
More
you
of
can.
a judgment on my friends.
It's the movie you can point to if you say, I don't like Christmas movies, but there's a movie I watch every year at Christmas. Die Hard's usually that movie that our friends we watch Die Hard at Christmas. So honorable mention to that. I don't think it's a Christmas movie, but hey, with the season, right? A debate amongst Susan and I, a favorite of mine growing up, but not hers in any way whatsoever, A Christmas Story. I think that just about every scene in that movie is classic. I like A Christmas Story. It's not exactly Suzanne's favorite, but it was something that I grew up watching. A lot of classic lines from soap in the mouth to beating up the bully, sticking your tongue to the pole and getting it frozen. The dogs coming in and getting the turkey dinner and then having to go to the Chinese restaurant. All this stuff, it's just the whole movie to me is a classic, so.
Yeah, I didn't really grow up watching those kinds of movies.
So. What else you got? What are your curveballs?
Curveballs, Lethal Weapon. It did come out during Christmas, and it does have Christmas music at the beginning and end, and when I was a kid, I loved all of the Lethal Weapon movies, and I think they're probably inappropriate for me to watch, so even more so, I wanted to watch them. And also Gremlins, because that happened and took place at Christmas also.
Okay.
If you remember, the little gremlin was a Christmas present. And then you fed him after the time you're supposed to, and then he
midnight
went crazy and changed, and I can't remember the little gremlin's name. I'm not...
Mogwai. Well, that's what they call them. They're Mogwais before they become
gremlins.
Other kind of monsters. I love the Grinch. There's a handful of versions out there. I haven't seen this year's version yet. But the Jim Carrey one's interesting. It's got its good things here and there. But overall, the classic little 30-minute one they threw up on CBS back in the day. It's one of those things where... if you didn't know how else to introduce Dr. Seuss and everything that goes along with that world, that's probably the easiest one to follow from the jump. We do read Blair a lot of different Dr. Seuss books, and she has seen The Grinch. I don't know if she's quite up with it yet, but it is one of those that I watched when I was a kid. And the only other cartoon I do want to mention is Mickey's Christmas Carol. this was one that it had more to do with the fact that when we were kids, we recorded it on a VHS, and it had all these crazy 80s cartoons from Ronald McDonald Playhouse and all this stuff, and doing Christmas things in between. And back then they had the cartoons that went before it, so the cartoons to us were classic, my sister and I. And yeah, Mickey's Christmas Carol. So.
And I didn't really have that experience, but last and not least, so many different variations of this classic, but Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, by far, I think the original version, I think it's from like the 30s, is the one that's like the most, that's gotten the most like acclaim. But a number of years ago, I took a friend of mine's niece and nephew to A Christmas Carol 3D, that new one that came out, and we watched it in 3D in the theater, and like all the snow that was falling in the theater, and it was a great experience. Like if they were showing that at IMAX or something during Christmas, I would love to take Blair. It was so good. It was also scary. My friend's niece got really scared during some of the like ghost coming back and stuff, but I thought it was a really good remake of a classic, and I'll definitely be sure to put that on our list for Christmas this year. And the Polar Express, I must bring up, because there are a lot of places like throughout the states that do Polar Express trips at Christmas, where you get on a train and you wear your Christmas pajamas and they serve you like hot cocoa and they give you the ticket and the whole nine, and you have blankets and stuff, and you have this Polar Express experience. And I think that that would be really cool to take the kids on when they're old enough and big enough. Ellie has another opinion.
Yeah, I've never seen the Polar Express.
And when he said that, I don't know that I've ever seen the full movie. So I'm thinking we might have to get that this year and add it. Also, but don't you think that would be a cool experience for them though, regardless?
Well, yeah, the experience, but
so yeah, we probably should watch the movie before we
maybe
have the experience. Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments down below, what are your favorite... Oh
no. We have to come back. Please don't kill it. We are not done. There is one more, the most important Christmas movie of all time, and that is the first Home Alone. You cannot continue on without mentioning the one and only Kevin McAllister. I have to tell you, growing up, I wanted to be Kevin McAllister. I ate plain cheese pizza. I wanted to have that little goofy bowl cut with my blonde hair that is long gone, but I thought Macaulay Culkin was Kevin McAllister, and that movie to me is not only, look, this isn't my favorite Christmas movie, this is my favorite movie, and I'm only allowed to watch it once or twice a year.
That's true.
Well, I'm allowed to watch it as much as I like.
He's already watched it once already.
Very much so, and I plan on watching it a few more times, but for the most part, I have to watch it alone because...
I will only sit down and watch it. I think I watched it at least twice last year.
It's not that you dislike the movie, it's that you...
I do a lot of...
In order to watch it with me, you have to understand that you're going to hear...
He says the whole movie before that... Oh,
and
I can't
while it's
stand
happening.
that. I can't stand that with any movie.
I can't help it. I know all the words. I love it. I'll sit here and recite all of it for you. And
I don't want any copyright.
Right, so we'll just let that be. But yeah, Home Alone is my favorite movie of all time. I watch it every Christmas. I watched it Thanksgiving night, and I plan on watching it at least 5 more times before Christmas is out. So yeah, that's my favorite.
All right. With that said, sorry for that.
No, continue on.
Comment down below, what are some of your favorite Christmas movies, whether you agree or disagree with us on any of these. Give us a like if you like it, and subscribe to our channel. Merry Vlogmas!
Merry Vlogmas!
Bye!